Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Robin here with Oracle Rising. Hope you're doing well and welcome to my channel. So guys, I wanted to do a little bit of a talk about star seeds and how would you know if you're a star seed. So I find this subject is a little bit complicated, so I really encourage you after any one of my videos to go and do your own research. There's starseed tests on the web. I did a few and they all came back with the same result, Arcturian starseed. So I thought that was really fascinating. And I was just having a conversation with my friend Sophia. Hi Sophia. About starseeds, and she wasn't really sure what a starseed was. So I'd been planning to do a video on how would you know if you're a starseed. And I thought I would bump it up in the rotation just to sort of help her out a little bit and help out anybody else that might have these feelings that maybe you don't quite belong on Earth, like you feel a little bit detached or anyway, let's get into, I have 6 points that it could show that you're a starseed. And just like with any other embodiment here on Earth, there could be positive or negative sides to being a starseed, yeah, like intentionally. So the first point that I have here is having heightened intuition and like the biggest and hugest hearts. You know, if you're the type of person that you can go up and connect to somebody and, you know, you just like be in their presence and you're like, oh, what's wrong? And they're like, well, how did you know? Like that's really heightened intuition, and just having the sense that you want to share with other people, even if it's just sharing your energy and helping uplift other people with your great big heart. I think that's a really beautiful thing, and it could be an indication that you are a starseed. So the second point I have here is you may feel very empty and lack a sense of belonging. So I think this one is really key because, you know, souls, they come from all over the place, you know. So souls reincarnate here on Earth, but sometimes like starseed souls come and incarnate into human beings in the 3D matrix because they want to help. But until you start awakening, you have this real like, what am I even doing here? I don't belong on this planet, or I just feel so detached from the human race. And I get those feelings a lot. Like I just feel like I don't belong here. Like I feel so separate from people, but then on the other hand, I feel really connected. So it's a huge dichotomy, and it can be really confusing and hard to deal with. So if you have feelings like that, like if any of these start to resonate, maybe do one of those starseed tests and then read about, you know, what to do about it. And maybe you're being called to awaken at this point in time. And I just want to recommend, there's a guru I follow, Steve Noble, for his meditations because he's a starseed guide. And I think he's fantastic. And he has like the best voice in the world, even better than mine. So the third point I have, you guys, is that you could believe that you're on a mission. I always knew my whole life that I was here to do something, but it wasn't until about, I think it's been about 2 years now, that mission, I finally got my orders, right? So it was just a little while after my maternal grandmother passed away. I was divinely guided to start working on my tarot channel. And that's Aries Fire Tarot. So to help people with messages through tarot. And then just a little while ago, I was guided to start a second channel, and I was like, okay, so now I feel like it's my mission. And sometimes people say to me, like, where do you get this work ethic from? And I'm like, well, it's my mission. So it's not even about work ethic. I have to do this. You know, it's what gets me out of bed in the morning to get up and like, okay, there must be somebody out there that needs my help, or maybe I can shine a light for somebody, or help guide somebody to, you know, like Steve Noble. If you check him out and you find that he's really interesting and helpful, like I feel like that's me doing my job here. So maybe you have that kind of thing where you feel like, okay, I have a job to do while I'm here, and maybe you don't know what it is right now, but you will, trust me. Okay, this fourth one is really cool. You accept paranormal experiences as normal. And like, I think they're normal. I mean, I think that there's all kinds of things going on beyond the human perception. And what's really interesting is that if you have a companion animal and you see that they're aware of them, there's always things going on that you're not aware of. Like, I'm sitting here, you know, with my guides around me, but you can't see them, and people would call that paranormal. And this started for me like as early as I could remember as a child, like being able to see things. And you know, my family thought I was nuts and just, you know, being dramatic, but there was always somebody with me, and I didn't understand it then. I didn't understand that it was peaceful. I thought that you know, they were monsters. But I've seen ghosts, and I've been like, I've had messages, I've heard voices. I can, if I really have to push myself, I can communicate with the dead. It's not something I like to do because it takes a lot of energy, and it's very emotional. It's very draining to really reach myself out that far. I think some people are better at it than others, but I'm good at it. But it's something I maybe do once a year because it's very, very difficult. But to me, that's all normal. And you know, people might like raise an eyebrow or shake their head and think, well, girl, you crazy. But I'm not crazy. You know, I just see things that, like, I'm ready to see things that maybe other people don't. But if you're a starseed, then you're probably like, yeah, I totally believe in ghosts and, you know, the other side, and when the veil thins and all of that stuff. And you know, so I think that's a really cool example. And let me know what your best example is down below in the comments, guys. So this one, the fifth one, I find is very true for me, and maybe for a lot of you watching this, is that your circle is very small. Like, I have very few people that I can confide in that I feel like really understand me. Like, I have a lot of acquaintances or people that may know me on the surface, and they probably think I'm all nuts for what I talk about or don't talk about anymore. But I like maybe a handful, if that, of people that I feel like I'm really comfortable, that when I say something, they're like, oh yeah, for sure, you know, instead of giving me the eyebrow, you know, or the whatever, you know. So that could be another big sign for you, is that your circle is very small, like people that you can really open up to. And the sixth one that I have here, and this is one of my favorite things to talk about ever, and I did a whole series on angel numbers on my other channel, Aries Fire Tarot. And you know what I'll do is I'll put the folder, link to the folder down below in the comments so you guys can see that, is to see angel numbers. Like, you know, your angels and your guides, they don't come through and speak English to you usually, unless you're really like heightened in your awareness. So if you're just on your beginning path and you keep on seeing repeated numbers, they're called angel numbers because they're angel messages coming through for you. And I think it's really interesting, and you should pay attention to that. And if you're seeing repeated numbers, like 2 numbers and 3 numbers, or pairs of numbers, 4 numbers, you can check that out. Like, I always just type in angel number blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh wow, that's super cool. So there's 6, like, and there's more signs that you could be a starseed. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I really encourage you to do your own research. And what I'm also going to do is put a link to the folder that I have. I do a daily reading on my other channel, and the one I use, one deck I use is a Starseed Oracle, and I think that could come in really handy for you if you're a starseed, and that comes out, I do it for every Tuesday, so I'll put a link to the folder down below in the comments too. And if you do that test, like for what kind of starseed you are, like come back to the channel and let me know what kind you are. I'm an Arcturian starseed, light worker, empath, goddess of the universe, divine feminine. Namaste, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to hit subscribe, guys. Thanks. Many blessings. Bye.